Good morning again. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Dr. Pollard, it's time for Inside Oakwood, and you have a great word for us this morning.
Oh, yes, I do. I do. I often think whenever we're getting ready to do Oakwood Live and I see all the students come from across the various academies, I always think of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, while the evil days come not, or the years draw nigh." I had to learn that as a student, back in the days when we used to call it MV. They made us learn Bible,
Yes.
and that was one of them. And the older people always reminded us that while you are young, this is the moment to make those important life decisions. And every time I think about Oakwood University, I think of a laboratory, a place where students come and they get a chance to examine choices and then to make really good ones. And it's always a good choice to choose what God has for us in our lives. I remember choosing Oakwood when I was 18 years old and coming and trying to figure out what to do with my life, a boy from a single parent home. And I needed to be in a space where I could understand what God's call and will for me was. And Oakwood provided that place. So
Yeah.
as we do it, now we're going to have, in just a few days, we're going to have hundreds of young people, 16, 17 years old, coming to Oakwood and having to make important crossroads life decisions. And we are praying and working that they will choose Oakwood because Oakwood is a place in which those decisions, those pathways to the future can be seen so clearly. And we have a supportive network of people who will help our students as they make those decisions. Remember your
Yes.
Creator in the days of your youth while you're young. Now, of course, the Lord accepts us when we're older. He'll accept us anytime, but we can avoid a lot of pain and a lot of heartache by choosing Him when we're young. You don't have to experience everything a la Eve in order to be enlightened, right? In the Garden of
Right.
Eden. You don't have to experience everything. You don't have to know the evil in order to appreciate the good. God wants to pour the good into our lives. And He says to remember Him when we are young. That's our charge today. And we're going to be doing that and demonstrating that in Oakwood Live.
Hey, man, I love that, Dr. Pollard. So yeah, so Oakwood Live is really going to be like the first step, if for someone getting ready to come to Oakwood University, right? So tell us what this really is. We can hear from Mr. Chris Tulloch. He's the Assistant Director of Enrollment Services. Can you tell us really what Oakwood Live is? Maybe our listeners aren't really clear what Oakwood Live is.
It's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we do here at Oakwood. There's a lot of value add that we put into the university and put into each student. And this is a great chance for us to do that. So definitely come out October 6th to the 9th. All right, we'll be here waiting for you guys.
All right, Dr. Pollard. So over the years, like 500 or more students have come to the campus. And actually, maybe I'll direct this to Dr. Benn Marshall. Over like 500 or more students have usually come to Oakwood Live. Prospective students have come onto our campus for this event. Tell us about why we have done this so many years. And I know it's not unique, but put it in perspective for our listeners so they can understand exactly what this is.
Thank you, Donna, for that opportunity. It is a great time, as Chris was saying, that our students come to experience what Oakwood is like. You grew up on this campus. And so I think a lot of us who grew up on this campus, I think often take it for granted. But Oakwood is such a safe place. It is a beautiful campus, but not only that, the fellowship that you have, people that look like you, people that you have the opportunity to learn about Jesus. Dr. Pollard talked about that aspect of it, a place you can openly share your faith, but you also have that value added that Chris talked about in the classroom. You're taught by professors that are young, vibrant, and could be working anywhere else, but they choose to come to a place where they want to make a difference in the lives of so many young people. And so I think it's so critical that the experiences, we talk about the academics, but that social experience is so important too. And I'm sure our young ladies can talk about that, because I think it's that whole social development that's critical. So it's not just about my books, but it's my lifelong friends that I make. and a place where you talk about alumni weekend, you go anywhere in the world and you see people that you either went to school with, or your cousins went to school with, or your siblings went to school with. And it is a forever experience.
And so Oakwood Live kind of begins that experience, especially if the prospective student decides to come on to Oakwood, because they're going to meet people during Oakwood Live, and those people are going to be friends for their lives, right? Yeah. That's how you're comparing that? That's the beginning of like I said,
it is the beginning of what you start to experience what you will always experience.
Mm-hmm. Now this year, I think we're doing it face-to-face, in person, right? Tell us about that, Dr. Ben Marshall.
We are so excited first of all, our students are back on campus, and that is amazing. We are so excited about that. And so, of course, everything has to be socially distanced. So we're being very cautious this year. We also have to make sure that safety protocols are followed. They will have to wear a mask on campus. They will have to be tested, provide negative tests 3 days before they arrive on campus. They will not be housed on campus with our students. Yeah, they will not be housed with our students on campus, but they will be housed in hotels locally, so that we are taking all kinds of precautions to make sure that we continue to keep our campus safe. So things in smaller events outside more. And so just being really creative with our programming to make sure that they still have that experience that you talked about.
Okay, my audio keeps dropping out. So Dr. Pollard, if I don't come in, you go ahead and take it on.
I'll follow up. I mean, our theme, Experience Oakwood, Launch into Your Future. I mean, it's the perfect theme for the Rocket City, which is Huntsville, Alabama. I like to say to parents that if you haven't thought about sending your child to Huntsville, you've missed one of the best kept secrets in the United States. Huntsville, Alabama, though a small city, is actually the Silicon Valley of the South. That's what it's considered. You've got NASA here. You've got FBI that's on its way here. You've got Army Material Command here. Boeing, Raytheon, all of these major tech companies are here. Facebook has put a new plant here, a new space here. Also Amazon.com. So when people think about Alabama, sometimes they see things on television, right? Rallies and politicians coming through, and they think, "Oh my God, I don't ever want to be in a place like that." But really, Huntsville is an anomaly. And Mrs. Ellen White, who founded Oakwood, said that she chose Huntsville because it was a place where the people were accustomed to the education of the colored young people. She talked about the progressive and the cultural climate of Huntsville, Alabama, as a place where children of color could grow and become their best. There were other places in the South that they could not choose, but they chose Huntsville because the normal school was here. Now, the normal school is what we now call today Alabama A&M. We tried to educate colored young people back in those days in the 1800s, but these cities were hostile, but not Huntsville. And when you come to Huntsville, you find there's still that same warmth and receptivity, especially to Oakwood University students. So I want to invite the parents and their families to consider choosing Oakwood and the internship programs and all the other things that we'll use to launch you into your future. It will be the experience of a lifetime.
Wow, so that's a good launching point for my next question, and that is the students are going to be here 4 days. So I'm assuming, and I know there are some events that are going to be happening during those 4 days. So would you, Mr. Tulloch, share with us what's going to be happening and for our prospective students coming on campus?
Consider it a buffet, right? Okay. We're going to have a lot of opportunities. Yes, there's going to be majors. Yes, there's going to be academic stuff, but there's also will be clubs, right? There'll be spiritual involvement, choirs, right? You're going to meet new friends, right? There's a cross-culture opportunity where you're going to be able to see different types of people, different types of food, a chance for you to see people that are on the same path that you're on and take advantage of those things. It's not many opportunities that you could come in a safe environment and talk to people. Make sure that you could have a discussion about the Sabbath whenever you feel like. An opportunity to go to church and make sure that you link in with the other students. This is a great opportunity.
So, Mr. Tulloch, how do they actually sign up for these different events, or can they just choose to go wherever they want to go?
When they come in, they'll have the opportunity to register for different events. We want to make sure that it's a smooth process. When they register online beforehand, we ask them a bunch of questions, and we'll be able to line them up to make sure that we understand what majors they're in, so we can actually tag team with the different schools and make sure they find those opportunities. The clubs, for example, they'll be able to talk to different people, find out what their likes and dislikes are. Because sometimes you have to get involved so you'll be able to figure out what you are. As a high school student, you're not sure who you are and what you want. Given the opportunities here, you'll be able to find out a little bit more about yourself and also about Oakwood University.
Wow. So Dr. Ben Marshall, how many students are we expecting?
Well, because of COVID, we're planning for about 300.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. So our
That's still a
hope
big
is,
number.
it is a big number, but I think that's a manageable size for us so that we can make sure we continue to keep the campus safe.
Now, is this going to be a hybrid experience or only face-to-face?
Face-to-face. It is
No
a
hybrid.
face-to-face experience.
Yeah.
A socially distanced face-to-face experience.
Okay, just wondering, just wondering if it's going to be hybrid. Just want to make sure we get that out there to be sure.
Well, that's important though, Donna, because we're putting forth every precaution to keep this campus safe, and we're grateful. We're not boastful. We're still vigilant. We're still diligent. But our COVID numbers are tracking far less than they were at the same time last year. Mm-hmm. And that's attributable to a number of things. That's attributable to the protocols that we put in place. That's attributable to the vaccination initiative, the presence and the availability of a vaccination. And you've got a lot of wonderful things working, but we don't want to take it for granted. And so we're being extra careful because we want to treat every student as if they were our own children who are coming to the campus. We don't want anybody to come and to be injured in any kind of way by coming to our campus. So we've got a lot of work that's going on to keep the campus safe. And Oakwood University, when you look at our numbers, is one of the safest places in all of Huntsville. Our campus is one of the safest places in all of Huntsville.
Well, let's talk to the students now. We do have two students here on the Zoom this morning to talk about Oakwood Live who have experiences with Oakwood Live. So first of all, let's just start with Briana Brooks. And how impactful was Oakwood Live for you? And when was your first experience? What year was that?
Okay, so I came to Oakwood Live in 2018 with Forest Lake Academy. It was actually kind of stressful getting here because we had just came from View Southern and our senior bonding trip. And we got back to FLA, they were just saying, oh, the bus is not working, you guys can't go to Oakwood. And so all of us were really devastated. Well, the African-American community were really devastated because we were like, y'all found money to get us to Southern, but we paid money, you can't get us to Oakwood. So we formed a committee and we got our parents, we had a sponsor, and we're just like, no, we're going to Oakwood Live. Like, we want to go to Oakwood, we're going to go to Oakwood Live. So miraculously, somehow the bus started working. And so although we were a day late, we came to Oakwood and we were all so excited because we've never been around that much Black culture before. Wow. And so seeing everyone with their natural hair, no one telling us we can't wear head wraps if our hair isn't done, that was amazing. And so then going to the worship experiences, seeing the choir sing, I remember seeing dynamic praise sing, VOT, the Aliens, and University Choir at the time. I remember seeing all of them sing. And so when they had the freshman choir, I was like, oh, I want to participate. So doing that, and I got to meet a lot of people who actually do go here now. And sometimes I'll look at the video and I'll be like, I didn't realize how many people actually came that were in the choir. So that was really fun for me. And then Saturday night, we had to leave early because there was a hurricane in Florida and they wanted to beat it. But it was really fun. And I appreciated going to the market, like getting to experience, all of that in its glory, and just meeting new friends, like being able to roam around campus in Black excellence and not feeling any type of way like anyone is going to judge me for being myself. So.
Wow, what a unique testimony. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, did you have any other choices other than Oakwood before you came to Oakwood Live? And did this Oakwood Live really just solidify your choice for you?
So my dad was a pastor, so I knew I was coming here. I knew that's where his money was coming. So there wasn't
Not
really,
because you were forced, though. Let me just make that
yeah. But
right.
I was okay. Southern wasn't really an option for my dad. And especially since both my parents came to Oakwood as well. So they wanted to kind of continue the legacy. So there wasn't, too much leeway. I thought about going to Andrews. I got almost a full ride to go there, but it's cold and I'm from Florida. So I was like, no.
Wow. I understand. Now let's hear from Oprah. Can you tell us what your first experience with Oakwood Live, and why you decided to come? What was your experience?
So, my experience was actually, I'm from Canada. So back there, Oakwood is basically, for the Adventist community, it's like a dream school because it's far, it's expensive, which is why, every time people hear like, oh, I was forced, and I'm like, back there, they would ask like their parents, like, please, and they would always get no's. So since the 10th grade, when I was introduced to Oakwood, I was like, this is it. Like, to me, it was like, this is it. I didn't apply anywhere else. I was like, I'm going to Oakwood.
Wow.
And so it was actually like the worst financial option, but I would not budge. And leading to, how I got to Oakwood Live, my dad was like, this is the worst financial option, especially the academy I was from. If you're a valedictorian, you get a full ride scholarship to the Adventist University in Canada. And my dad was like, this is where, I want you to go. So he said, if you go to Oakwood, I'm not supporting you financially. So I had to be like, okay, my principal, knew people from Oakwood, and my principal was like, I think you'd be a great fit there. So all the teachers got together and sponsored me to go to Oakwood Live at 17 years old. It was in 2018, October 2018. And I went by myself, like no one else from where I was, was going. I went by myself, 17-year-old. I had to find the one airline that would let people under 18 travel. And so I got there, and, it was pretty scary going there. Like, I don't have some people have siblings that went, parents that went. I mean, it was my first, and so I just, I knew it was God who led it, because all the obstacles, kind of fell down. So I got to Oakwood Live, and, that's where I met, the biggest thing I would say to, people or students that are going to Oakwood Live is you need to talk, get to introduce yourself and stuff like that, because that's how I met my roommate. And she was such a great roommate. We never had one issue. Like, we were in the choir, like Bree said, we joined the freshman choir. She was right beside me. She was a female tenor. I was like, oh, there's not many of us, like, hi. And then that's how we became friends and stuff like that. So it was a great experience too. I was so ecstatic to go there. I went there without my dad's consent, but my mom was like, go ahead, my mom was about it, and so my dad is so like finance focused, like, you're gonna be in debt, and I'm like, they say it's the school of the prophets, like, God has me, I think he's gonna be, and so I'm a junior and I'm here, so going to the dorms, like the fact that you could literally get a tour of the whole campus. You were taught, all the departments you were able to visit as well, to really know what you wanted to do. I loved, like going to the CAF. It was like a whole tour, because I had only seen the virtual tour, so after, like, I was already like strong about it, but really going, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I didn't apply anywhere else. My dad was like, apply somewhere else, please. Like, what if they don't accept you? I was like, no, I feel it in my heart. So
okay, so you can really speak to the fact that when a prospective student comes 17, 18 years old, maybe a little older sometimes, that you can build relationships. You came by yourself. I mean, and that says a lot to the environment on the campus, the students that are coming to the campus. And would you say that was sort of the thing that really, even though you already wanted to come, that kind of sealed the deal? You were able to build relationships immediately.
Absolutely. The students were all like, there's this warmth about it, especially because, it's an HBCU, like there's certain things that are accepted here that you wouldn't really get. There's no HBCUs in Canada. Obviously we didn't have all the slavery and all that. So it was just very welcoming. I had never been to a school. I was always the minority my whole life. So really the fact that you could come in and share and learn about all the different like cultures and stuff like that, you know, within the US. It was amazing, you know, so everyone was welcoming, everyone will talk, like, you know, everyone will share. So there was never this cold, like, or the cliques really, so.
Was there anything for both of you, Briana, you can respond to this, anything for both of you that you received once you got here that you weren't expecting, but it was just the blessing you needed that you didn't know you needed? Anything like that? I know you both talked about the choir being here. Maybe it was the information that you received from any of the sessions. What were some of the sessions or the informational meetings that you all went to that were very, very helpful for you?
I would say, because I kind of knew a lot of people here, that I got most of my information from them. But what I will say, me and Bernice are both navigators. And so I know back in 2017, sorry, I said 2018, back in 2017, the navigators, I don't think they helped out with Oakwood Live, but now that they do. So it's kind of like you build connection with someone who's older than you, someone who's gone through at least 2 years of Oakwood. And so most of the times, I mean, I won't be here the next year, but you know, if I get someone, they text me, I'll of course text them back. So I think having that connection this year with those students and having someone, you know, like Bernice, she said she didn't know anybody. So for those, especially for those students who don't know anybody, to already have like the navigator that when you come here, they can be your friend, they can be like your mentor, they can help guide you, especially since they partner up navigators with like your major and minors. So someone can really help guide you. And for us seniors, someone who can give you advice so you don't have to go through some of the things that we didn't do or make some of the mistakes that we made. I think that's going to be really, really helpful to them. And then, you know, like I said, they'll develop like a lifelong friend, a lifelong mentor, someone they can always text. And then, you know, while we're working in our field, when they come up, we, you know, we can connect them with other people and be like, hey, I have this internship for you. Hey, I have this job opportunity for you because I met you at Oakwood Live. I know you're going to succeed. And if you need any help, you can always call me.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to get to the events again. I'm going to put up a flyer, but before we do that, I wanted to ask Dr. Ben Marshall about when Briana was talking about the mentor and the navigator, I think she said. Is that the same as what I'm thinking of? What it made me think about is, you know, at Oakwood, you get a campus father, you get a campus mother, and all this kind of stuff. Is that still happening, or is that the one and the same now? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm glad they mentioned about the navigators, because the navigators will actually be participating in OU Live. So it's really that connection. We didn't realize, I guess, how important that connection is with that upperclassman relating with you. So the navigator basically is a student who has gone to Oakwood, who is at Oakwood. And so when you come in as a freshman, we kind of pair them up in small groups so that they can learn the culture of the university. And so having them participate in OU Live is really important. But yeah, they still do the campus mother, campus father kind of thing that we did back in the day. Donna, please don't.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We still have grown adults in their 60s talk about, this is my campus father, you know. This is so it's good to know that still, and because that was helpful as well to help students navigate through the process on campus and getting acclimated on campus. So let's talk again. Let's review again about what's going to be happening these 4 days of Oakwood Live. I guess Mr. Tulloch, could you share that with us and tell us about all the exciting activities and things?
Well, we definitely have some good things going on. We definitely have an artist. His name is Jermaine Dooley. We definitely will be there. A lot of the young kids know him. My daughter jumped up and down last night when I mentioned he was going to be here.
Yes.
But like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the people associate with other people, like a church, right? People join a church because of the people. A lot of the students connect with people at Oakwood, and that allows them to open their minds up and hopefully find something that they enjoy. So some of the activities, we're going to be going out, for example, and doing community service. They'll be engaged in that. AYM, they're going to be engaged with. A lot of things, we're going to try to keep them focused. For example, some of the classroom activities, make sure they understand about the dorms. And we mentioned about the navigators. Those navigators, hopefully, now that we know more about it, we're going to make sure they connect more and make sure that they have someone that they'll be able to talk to while they're here.
Dr. Pollard, talk about Go ahead, go ahead.
No, actually, let Dr. Pollard talk about our
Our
speaker.
speaker.
Yes,
Oh
that's
my
where I was
goodness.
going. Exactly. We're thinking
Yeah,
about
I want to talk about Dr. Eric Thomas. What a powerful testimony. Eric Thomas now is considered the leading motivational speaker in the world, certainly in the US and in the world. And he graduated right here from Oakwood University, straight out of Detroit. And what a powerful testimony. He was homeless. He'll share his testimony. He was homeless at one point, graduated from Oakwood, continued his education, launched his company of motivational speaking. And he will be here to speak for us, and he will do 3 nights for us, 3 events for us. We're really excited. We welcome him back home as one of our alums. He has been a philanthropist to students who need to get through school. I could just go on and on. I remember him when he was a student. And
Wow.
what always struck me about him was his sincerity, And now to see all that he has become and all the lives he's touching, it just makes Oakwood, it makes me personally, but it also makes us as an institution just so proud. For those who go way back, remember there was a day when the leading motivational speaker was Les Brown. Well, that person now is Eric Thomas, and he's doing a tremendous job with the NFL, with the NBA, with the WNBA. He has quite a testimony, and he's going to be here along with Jermaine Dolly, whom the students know. I mean, I learned so much about all the new artists because the students know exactly who they are, and we welcome both of them back to Oakwood Live.
Now, again, I guess we do need to mention, because we're talking to folks around the world, these events are only for the Oakwood Live participants and the Oakwood University enrolled students. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Yes, if you are a high school student and you are interested, of course, we want you to reach out and to register now, because the information is right there, oakwood.edu/OU Live. So you can go to the website and you can register if you're a local student. But because we're trying to keep the campus safe, we don't want to just fling the doors open, because we've got protocols for entering the campus and being on the campus. We've got to protect the population after Oakwood Live. So we're doing all these things. And when the pandemic is over, of course, it can be a wide open event as we've done before. But right now it's really focused on students and getting them to experience Oakwood and to experience us live.
Wow. Well, it sounds like a great event that's coming up again. It's going to be October 6th through the 9th. And we have the great speaker. We have great music coming. I can't wait to hear Dolly in person myself. Hopefully I can get out and get to those events. But so it's not too late to register, Dr. Pollard, or Dr. Karen Ben Marshall, or Dr.
It's not too late to register, but please register, because we have hotel accommodations that we've got to fill. So if you want to get registered online, and so that we can book you in those hotels immediately before it's too late. We just have a couple weeks left.
All right. Anybody want to have, let me just get the final word from our students and speak to those prospective students that are thinking about coming to Oakwood or haven't really moved forward yet. Encourage them right now to go ahead and register so you can meet them in October. Briana, go first.
So I would say, I'm going to put this out here. If anybody's hesitant, or if anybody, just needs someone to talk to about Oakwood Live, you guys can actually call me. My number is 941-380-4092. Just text me and we can talk, we can communicate, and I can tell you guys the real stuff. So, so yeah, just call me, and yeah.
Very generous. Thank you, Briana.
I would say, same thing as Briana. If you are an international student, especially, that was the hardest part for me. Finding people that could tell me all the scoops and stuff like that, especially when you're from far and you don't have any family members that know, or any friends, you didn't know anyone. So 256-323-1575. And my name is Bernice, most commonly known as. So just don't be scared. And the part when they say that God will provide financially, I promise you it's true. Okay. So it's worth it. And just introduce yourself. You have to talk though. You have to kind of at least do small talk to start getting to people.
Thank you so much. Dr. Pollard, will you close it out for us?
Oh, yes. And Briana and Oprah have said it all. And I'm just so grateful. And again, we welcome you. Go to the website and register. This is the experience of a lifetime. And we look forward to seeing you. You still got a few weeks left. So move quickly because the rooms will fill. And when they're gone, they're gone. So God bless you. And again, Oakwood Live, see you there.
Thank you, Dr. Pollard, and thank you, your special guest, for being here for Inside Oakwood with Dr. Pollard. See us again next week, September 23rd. We'll be talking about Hispanic Heritage Month. But don't forget about Oakwood Live coming up next, right here on the campus of Oakwood University.